Bernice got nerfed again, and Faye got buffed. It's a small patch, but in the current meta, even a small Bernice nerf matters. Yes, I 1 day late. Yesterday was not the best day for me, but this patch is still worth discussing. It's not a huge patch, but we have 2 important changes. First, Faye received a small buff, and honestly, we take that. A buff to Faye is always nice, but the real topic is Bernice. Bernice got nerfed again, and every time Bernice is touched, we have to ask the same question. Does this actually change the burn meta? Or is Bernice still too strong? So today we are going to break down the Faye buff, the Bernice nerf, and what this patch could mean for the current meta. Now let's talk about the real topic of this patch, Bernice. This nerf matters. First, she loses resistance on her passive. That means Bernice is now easier to burst, easier to punish, and easier to take down before she fully stabilizes. Before this nerf, Bernice could absorb a lot of pressure while still winning passively with burn. Now, if the Bernice player makes mistakes, she can actually be punished, and that is a very good thing. The burn damage reduction is also important. Ability 1 loses 10% burn damage, ability 2 loses 15% burn damage, and the second part is huge for the late game, because Bernice cannot just defend forever and win only because burn is slowly destroying everything. She is still strong, she is still meta, but she has to play the game more carefully now, and I think this nerf is also very important for the health of the game. A lot of players were frustrated by Bernice, and this patch clearly answers that frustration without killing the commander completely. But there is another important consequence. This nerf rewards Lavonne. If Bernice deals less burn damage, Lavonne keeps more barrier, and if Lavonne keeps more barrier, her win condition becomes much easier to reach. We can already see it in top ladder. More and more players are testing Lavonne, so honestly, I think this is a good nerf. Bernice is still powerful, but she is no longer a commander that can play badly and win anywhere. Yesterday, a bad Bernice could still win too many games. Today, if Bernice is played badly, she can lose, and that is exactly what the meta needed. Now let's talk about Faye, and honestly, there is not too much to say here. This is a small buff. From restart 4 onward, Faye gets 50% more health. It is game breaking? No. It is going to completely change the meta by itself? Probably not. To me, this buff feels mostly like a small push to make players try Faye again, especially with a new skin. And honestly, that makes sense. The kind of change mostly matters for high ladder players, because Faye already needs a good setup, good timing, and the right composition to really shine. But even if the buff is anecdotal, it is still good to take. I actually prefer this kind of balance change. Small buffs, one after another, can slowly make a unit more relevant without winning the game experience. This is much healthier than one huge buff that suddenly makes a character broken. So for me, Faye is not suddenly meta defining, but she becomes a little bit more comfortable to play, especially in combo setups where surviving one turn can make a big difference. So, final thought on this patch. I think this is a good patch. The Faye buff is small, but it is always nice to see underplay unit receive some attention. The real change is obviously the Bernice nerf. Bernice is still strong, Bernice is still meta, but now she can finally be punished more easily. She lost some resistance, her burn damage is lower, and that means she cannot just defend forever and win for free with passive burn pressure. If a Bernice player plays badly today, they can lose, and honestly, that is exactly what the meta needed. I also think this patch is very good for Lavonne. If Bernice deals less burn damage, Lavonne keeps more barrier, and if Lavonne keeps more barrier, a late game plan becomes stronger. So I would not be surprised if we see more Lavonne in top ladder. I also think the meta could become healthier now. we may see Paige again, we may see Ellen again, and maybe more commanders will finally have a real chance to exist. For this way, I think it is more complicated. You will see that in the next video. That guide was supposed to come out already, but we had Lavonne, and now we had Dispatch, so the Desire guide had to wait a little bit. If you watch until the end, the secret password is Lavonne. Let me know in the comments what you think about Dispatch. Is Bernice still too strong? Is Lavonne now better? And do you think Faye's buff will actually matter? And remember, the best composition is not the one that is meta, it's the one you master.